Good morning, my friends. How are you? I have been wanting to check in. I've been wanting to kind of explain what's been going on the past month, because while I do feel that you don't have to explain yourself to anybody, I do feel a responsibility and a passion for and a desire to do peace and plenty in 20, because that is part of what fulfills me in my life, is connecting with you guys, is sharing experiences and feelings and challenges that I know so many of us are experiencing. So when I don't get the opportunity to do that regularly the way that I have built peace and plenty, it's not a great feeling, but I've had to let it go the past month. I've had a lot of challenges in my personal life, which is part of life, but I just didn't have the bandwidth, and I had to be okay with the help of some very wonderful coaches that I have and therapists. I had to learn to be okay with letting go a little bit of not necessarily showing up on social media all the time, not putting out a Peace and Plenty in 20 episode every week for the past month. So you might have noticed that. And I just want to say that I haven't gone anywhere. It was just very important for me to prioritize not only myself, but my family. And if you can relate to this as a mom, you need to be in the best possible energetic headspace that you can, and you really need to take care of yourself. As I'm saying this, I don't want it to sound all like, oh, self-care has become such a buzzword. Like, I don't want it to become trite or just like a phrase that we say. And when I talk about self-care, I'm not talking necessarily about, getting a massage or doing luxurious things. Yes, that is absolutely self-care, and I absolutely believe in those things. This form of self-care for me over the past month has literally been, okay, for me to be in a very grounded space to handle the very emotional challenges that I'm facing. I need to kind of remove myself from social media a little bit, which is difficult when you have a job that does kind of rely on you being present and visible. So the self-care that I have had to do is the coaching and the therapy to remember that it's okay for me to take a break. It's okay to push pause. I'm not stopping what I'm doing. I will never stop peace and plenty. But I had to give myself the same permission and grace I would give someone else. And we say that all the time, but it's so true. Because like I put myself in a friend's position, and I would say all the things that friends and coaches are saying to me, but it's so hard when it's yourself. So that kind of work, like that is self-care. It's not luxurious self-care. So self-care can also look like letting go. Self-care can look like, I really need to just focus on the basics of every day. When you have some real challenges in your life, sometimes just getting up every day and just doing like the basics is what's most important. And I feel like that's what I've been doing this past month. And unfortunately, that doesn't leave space for all of the plenty and all of the things that I necessarily love to do. The two parts of my message this morning are, one, to kind of say, I haven't disappeared, I haven't gone anywhere, but I had to push pause. And the second part of that, as always, is for me to extend to you that same consideration if and when you're going through a difficult time. Because let's be realistic, there are going to be difficult times. I pray you're not in one now, but I also pray that when you face them, you allow yourself the space and the time and the permission to do whatever it is that you need to do to take care of your family and yourself. Find the things that make you feel grounded. Find really your priorities. Ironically, as I'm speaking to you, and obviously this is all off the cuff this morning, this is literally what Peace and Plenty is built on. This is literally what my coaching program is based on, is finding out what those priorities are, because honestly, it's hard to really think about them in the everyday life, but when something happens that's big in your life, it forces you to say, okay, what's most important? And as a family, we've literally had to do that. So it really brought me back to my own pillars and why I started this whole journey and became a coach, from a teacher to a writer to a coach. Because I need to know right now, what are my priorities? And that's what I did. And unfortunately, as much as I love being on social media and being on video and connecting, it just wasn't one of the top priorities. So I had to put it on hold. And then the perimeters, the boundaries that I had to set for myself to not do that, to, take the little Instagram app off my phone for several weeks. I had to set those up for myself to get me to this place that I needed to be. The permission, I had to give myself such permission and grace, and that's hard when you're used to doing it all and used to really showing up all the time for everybody. But when you go back to your priorities, which for me is my family, I wasn't going to be the best version of me in terms of also showing up for these really hard times and these challenges that, we've had as a family, if I didn't do that. So I could talk for hours on this, but what I want to say is I am so blessed and grateful right now to have the opportunity to take a trip. I have taken a lot of trips this year, and it feels a little ironic because it's been a really challenging year. But that's what Peace and Plenty is about. Embracing the beauty and the blessings of life, while at the same time recognizing that life is not going to always go the way we expect it. Things are not always going to go as planned. They just won't. And that is not a fun reality, but it is a reality. And I also think it's great for our children to see that and to recognize that you can have good and bad moments within one day. You can have good and bad moments within 1 month. You can go from being in a place that's kind of dark and really somber and stressful, and then have an experience like I'm having, where you go to just the most beautiful, historically rich, scenically phenomenal location, and be able to enjoy that as well. The balance of life is just that. Glennon Doyle said it best years ago. Life is brutal. It is both brutal and beautiful all in one. And our job, I think, is just to figure out how we navigate it. And we all navigate differently, by the way. And that's okay. The way I navigate something might be different than the way you navigate something. But that's why I'm saying the most important thing is to figure out for you, what do you need to give yourself permission to do? What are your priorities? How are you going to set your boundaries and your perimeters to get you to the place where you can be okay, and then also access still that gratitude and that love and community and friendship and enjoying life and tapping into your spirituality? Those are the things that really set the foundation for life. So I know I am on a crazy tangent. I know this is a very loose kind of unscripted babbling this morning, but I just came downstairs this morning. We're staying in a villa in France, in the south of France, and I came downstairs this morning with such gratitude and such emotion, and I knew it was time to kind of unpause, at least for today. I can't promise you what's coming next week, although I do have some wonderful interviews that I've done recently that I cannot wait to share with you. But at least for today, and we're taking one day at a time, I wanted to push on pause to connect with you, to share with you this experience, and not in a way of like, oh, look where I am. I hope you know me and you know that's not what this is about. This is about me wanting to share with you the experiences that are out there in the face of really tough stuff, right? So I thought what I would do for today is just share some video, share some thoughts, totally unscripted. Let's do an episode where I can just share my reflections with you. I'm almost using you guys like a journal, because journaling is a wonderful, wonderful way to process your emotions, because we need to get them out of here. I have learned that in the past month more than ever, even though I've always known that. When you're in a season that is not your typical season, it could be hard to forget the things that are important and that matter. So stay with me, if you will. I'll share with you how we got here, why we're here, what else I've been up to, what else is coming up, and hope that you get something out of it in terms of my job I feel my job is to be open, honest, connect, inspire you, show you what's possible with some mindset shifts, with just really simple, foundational belief changes, perspective changes. That's what I want for you in case you need it. And I do want to share with you the beautiful scenery, the food, the friendship. These are the other things that are also important in life. Sometimes, taking a vacation is not at the top of the priority, and it hadn't been. But right now, I felt in a space where I could do this. So I want to also share with you that if you're in a season where you don't have the means to do anything, or you're not physically able, or you're not mentally able, I want you to know that holding on to hope is very important, and having faith and trusting that there's different times ahead, and it doesn't have to be in the south of France. There's different experiences for you coming. And again, my purpose is just to connect with you, to empower you, and to just bring you as much peace and plenty as possible. Okay, so let's dive in. I don't know exactly right now how I'm even going to structure this, but I know I just want to share everything with you. So settle in, grab a cup of coffee, go for a walk. If you're listening, this is not going to be an ideal podcast episode because it's going to be a very visual YouTube kind of episode. You're welcome to listen, but I would definitely hop on over to YouTube. And by the way, if you have not hit subscribe, please do that. Because while I am so into the mental and emotional and personal aspect of this, there is a business that I have. And I've been told by my business coaches, by many people, the hitting subscribe thing is really important. So please do that for me. Just hit subscribe. And that way you'll also know when I do drop episodes, since they haven't been as consistent. It's a great way to know that. So if you would do that for me now, if you would share it, that's another great way to help get this message out. And that's me being of service in that way is my purpose in life. So thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing, and come along with me. Love you guys.